Hello and welcome to the
Fuck you, Evie. Fuck you.
Evil. So evil. Were you planning that? Like, what? You need to give us some 411 on this shit.
He was planning it.
Because you're like, oh, are you guys going to celebrate? What's going to happen?
Yeah, I was like that. I was as well when
You
he was
were,
like,
like,
oh, you can
pressuring
go
so
celebrate
hard, I was
right
like-
now. With 2 hours of the show left, you should go have a nice time. And like, he's doing something. Something's going on here.
Can I ask?
Sure.
If Barnaby and James had gone for a sneaky fuck, would James have died?
Probably not.
Shit!
He wasn't targeting James. He just can't see James through a window in a lit room in the dark. He can only see silhouettes.
That means, like, Imogen or Rob would have gotten hit.
Yeah.
I mean, Rob did get hit.
Yeah,
Was
it
he
might mean that I
specifically
died.
targeting that window, I assume, then?
Yeah, he was shooting that window. He was looking for figures in that window. He couldn't see from that
He was
range.
probably aiming for Layla was really what he wanted.
It's-
but he
it's
knew
like
that.
Imogen's room, so it's the perfect target. God damn it! And you set this up as well, because when I was getting the military equipment, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna drop it in a field, nice and far away from the school. And you're like, you know what? With that good a roll, you could drop it on the roof.
Oh, that would have made a
And it'll
difference,
be
really.
fine.
But
And then
you'd have had to drop it somewhere near the school.
Before you started the after show, you were telling me that Miller had been waiting on the roof, which you knew at the time you decided I could drop the
He
stuff
wasn't
on
waiting
the
on
roof.
the roof of your boarding house. He's waiting on the roof of one of the ones nearby where he can see your window. Because he's been watching you guys and trying to figure out a way to fight you. Because unfortunately, Layla is so more powerful than him. Even though he's a pretty decent vampire, Layla's just going to beat him first, like, one-on-one combat every time. So he's been
You know,
waiting.
he's kind of like a Zergling in StarCraft. He's like, let me get as many minions as possible. That fucking bastard.
If you had been on time to the pickup for the weapon,
he was talking to
would've
me,
got
and
it.
he's like, how do I bring? Because like I think everyone kind of realizes that Imogen was kind of like the star in the show, which I think is actually really cool. That like there's lots of different characters that have been that, but he was like, how do I bring Layla to the forefront of it? I was like, hurt my friends, like that is like one of my goals. If you look at my character sheet, like one of the goals was make new friends, because like her thing is that she's been a loner forever. She's a loner, and like you hurt her friends, shit will fucking.
I'll be honest, this was in play a little while before that. The idea was that Robert's package, if he'd been on time to it, he wouldn't have had time to mess with it, and he wouldn't have bothered engaging you if Layla's around. But because you were an hour late, he'd already been there. And that now you have
I'm sure he has different feels about it, because he knows some stuff
Yeah.
that we don't know. So
And if the military complex hadn't decided to put extra guns.
You got a
in the
rocket
box.
launcher and stuff. You didn't complain.
I mean, there was nothing lethal in that box.
Rocket launcher?
What? A rocket
No,
launcher?
you added that. There was nothing lethal in what was supposed to be in that box. It
You
was
never
a
complained when you got a rocket
turbos
launcher.
and some armor.
You fucking evil bastard. You never complained when you got a rocket launcher. I knew something was too good to be true. I'm like,
I complained when I got shot in the face.
just rocket launcher,
I said
Mr.
didn't
Miller.
because
in
I
the
got
face.
knocked out.
Okay.
I will have time later to complain about that.
You're welcome, by the way.
That was nice. Yeah.
And then you roll a 1. I was like, cool, we're off the beaten track here in the response. Sure.
Everyone's gone full tilt magic crazy, and I'm here like my power suit doesn't even work right now.
Oh, you mean I rolled a 1 on my addiction, or?
Not the addiction, the keeping the power under control was not quite the addiction, but
It's never gonna happen.
effectively you were trying to cast a power level 7 spell because you were doing it on the fly, trying to just make it instant heal.
Yeah.
You got 8 success levels, so I was like, that's cool. Sure.
Oh no, I was honestly expecting you to be like, yeah, it works, but you take 36 points of damage. I was like, I mean, I would do it. Like, if this is like a pure on.
If you had failed, it'd probably be like, no, yeah, you just like damage yourself and stuff or whatever, or there's side effects or whatever. Instead, you succeed. So it's like, okay, cool. How the hell did you do this? Probably just raw magic, which you're not meant to. That's cool. No. And now you're going to quickly grab a golem heart.
Mm-hmm.
And
So tell us,
reinsult the
how much
vampire?
HP did Mr. Penrose have? I mean, I
200.
know you're going to share this with the GM people. You're going to share everything. How much?
200.
Wait,
Yeah,
you
'cause
only
you
had
know it's, like,
200?
negative.
We had to go
200.
massively into the negative.
I did 104 damage twice.
Those
He
were
doesn't die
resistant.
instantly. Like you, as player characters, he makes survival checks because he's a
Okay.
boss. So every -10, he takes a survival check. And that survival check is Constitution plus willpower
We were.
minus
You said we
10
got
divided
to
by
negative 120, 1223.
233. You got
233.
negative 233
Oh,
points of
I got to update my notes.
He also reduced the damage instantly. He got to 1 HP at one point. He then used a drama point to halve that. So you did about 500 points of damage.
I was wondering because he used the drama point relatively early, but then he just kept not going down. But of course, it was because we had to go into negative, so that was a third of the way through the fight.
Yeah, he didn't want to
than half.
risk going survival test, so he used it instantly. He got to 1 HP, and then you knocked him down again, and he could only use it once. He used all his drama points relatively early on in that fight, and then because you reduce his drama points by 2 by using the Dagon Sphere.
That was
So,
neat.
how
job,
does the
Edward.
Dagon Spear work exactly? Does it recharge?
It
over time?
recharges. Imogen knows that, and Imogen would have told you. It recharges over time.
Okay. How much time?
You have no idea. A while.
Okay.
God,
Okay.
I love when players give me ideas. When chat gives me so many ideas, sometimes I'm like, I didn't think of that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Looking at Discord, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. I can drain magic out of people.
Yeah.
Oh, you son of
You
a...
said Violet
Don't
was
tell him
me.
that, Lauren. Why would you tell him that?
No, that's fine. Like, Violet doesn't know that. That's
Yeah.
perfectly fine. God.
Are you
I don't
going
actually
to
think I
steal
have
Violet's
to know.
magic? No.
Yeah, it's a trope in Buffy. Like it is a thing that people
Yeah.
are magic pushers and drain magic for them. I'd
Oh
have to go
my
look
God.
at that. Like,
That
specific
said,
to
the
that.
reinsoling spell does need... I would need to check my notes. I think it needs 2 people. I need to double check
Probably.
that.
I don't remember what you said. I'll have to.
Yeah.
You didn't give me all of the details on that spell, so if
Oh.
you can send me like a
I
spell
will.
right
I will
up
send you the spell. Yeah, right now you would understand it anyway.
And EE and Bentham, thank you for making amazing characters because I don't think I would have teared up as much if James and friggin' Rob weren't fucking amazing characters. So that was like the thing is that Layla wasn't there, but she like heard the gunshots, so she has like a different thing going on with her. So she doesn't know all the details, but once she does, that's even going to be worse than where she's at the moment.
Does
Yeah,
Layla
what's
even
Layla
know that
think?
James is dead yet?
No.
No.
Yeah,
She
what's
doesn't know
thinking?
anything. All she has is that letter. She heard the gunshots. She's already enraged enough because that's why I was taking out all my anger on those vampires. So, and if I see Barnaby looking like that, something clearly has gone
Yeah.
down.
I didn't like how he just like, I just need to go clear my head. I'm just gonna go murder dozens of vampires.
I felt like that was the right thing to do. I mean, if you watched Buffy before, she also went through something similar to that, and she did a very similar thing.
Oh yeah, no, it's a very fitting.
Yeah, it's a very, very Slayer thing to do. So I felt like,
I like that. That's the Slayer way of calming down. Other people take walks.
It's like
Layla
punching a
goes and
pillow,
murders dozens
tearing
of
Yeah.
the paper.
I mean, if you're murdering
You
low-level
know.
vampires, there's like no risk there. So you're basically just a punching bag.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I think you can take characters' reactions to other characters dying in very different ways, and I very clearly decided like Imogen's reaction is to take action, and she's sadistic, so to also take vengeance.
Layla is a very action-oriented character. And I even told EE that too. I was like, my thing is that I will always take action. I'm not a talking person. I'm starting to get more of the influential. That's why I've been putting points in influence, is because I'm starting to be more sociable, right? Like I have friends who are talking to me, and that's something that it's very new to Layla, which I think is actually really cool. The progression of the story has been really insane. This episode was insane. Like, yeah.
It
I
went
don't
places.
even know how to react right now. I'm just like, anger is happening.
Honestly, like, if I hadn't have passed the int check to know whether or not James was dead, I don't know what I would have done.
I think you would have like, in like movies when like someone's just like beating on someone's like chest, like trying to
'cause I
revive
wanted to
them.
save both of them, and like the only reason I didn't try is because I knew James was dead and that I couldn't save him.
I liked the close his eyes, and I'm like, you're like, yeah, you're gonna bring it back. I feel like James is gonna come back as like some kind of evil monster thing.
I'm not saying it's gonna work out well.
Yeah, this kind of backfiring where like we have Imogen as the boss, but then James is also there as like the mini boss we have to deal with first.
Oh God, no.
I think
Well,
that would.
there was an episode where Willow was the bad guy, and also Xander at one point.
Yeah,
and
the
Willow
difference
was
is I think
better.
it would ruin the memory of James to bring him back as a demi bad guy. It would. I don't think it would be.
Depends what. I mean, like maybe it's like a zombie, so it's. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the sort of lens Imogen might.
Well,
go
it doesn't have to start
Yeah,
that way,
magic
right? Like
maybe.
he can be himself, and then all of a sudden be weird shit happening. I don't know. Oh, we'll see what happens, though. I guess
He can be
How
like
Im-
the kid
how
in Stranger
Imogen-
Things too.
deals with that.
So, Josh, how do you feel? Because we haven't really gone over your feelings yet.
I am mostly in denial.
You're in the
I-
denial phase of depression.
like
I've
somewhere in
already
the back
gone
of
to
my head.
bargaining.
Soon he's gonna start bargaining with EE. Well, what if I do this?
No,
We're
that's
already
what
all
I
at the
meant.
bargaining
I'm
stage.
thinking about it because, like, somewhere in the back of my head, I'm just like, but no, he can't just kill a character that everyone like. There's got to be something else. Like,
Yeah, I think I'm at that
there's
point
an
too. That's why I'm
angle
at the
here.
bargaining stage. I'm like, there's got to be something that's gonna bring him back. But then I'm like, he's gonna be evil. Like that's how
I'll be frank. I played the rules for bullets perfectly straight. They are ridiculous, which is why I generally don't allow anyone a gun.
Gun. Yeah, you told us not to do gun fu. You said it was gonna be rare.
Yeah.
But now
The issue
it's
being
not.
that anything like a pistol or anything like that, this wasn't even full auto, is you can keep making attacks in your turn and you just reduce the number by 1. Not one successful, just by 1. So you're just like, oh, yeah, I got a 17. So that's a 17, a 16, a 15, a 14, a 13, a 12. And each one of those does normal damage. And bullets
I
are
didn't
doubled.
put any points into gun fu specifically because EU was like,
oh, and that's why you
he's
broke.
like,
the-
I want guns to be super rare, is what he said. But I guess we're late in the game, so
Yeah. And it's why Miller won't be continuing to hold the assault rifle and then use it against you in any coming fight. It might be technically a power leveler against Layla,
you
but
said it was bent.
yeah, that's why he destroyed it.
Yeah.
Also because he didn't get shipped any ammo with it and he used all the ammo in your room.
Oh damn it! So I can't even salvage it and make use of it unless I can somehow get ammo.
You can have
You
the
can actually make
laser
you real
sight.
smart again.
I'm not ordering from the military again. I'm in shoddy work. They got spotted. They put stuff in that wasn't supposed to be there.
You
And
should
terrible
just
service.
issue a formal complaint as the general.
yeah,
I'm gonna leave a bad review.
and the takeaway driver's a bit weird. He leaves it on the roof.
He didn't ring the doorbell. It was awful. It got cold by the time I got up
Oh
there.
gosh. I'm still emotional, and I don't know if it's alcohol or what.
In which case, I did the right thing.
No, I seriously cheered up.
Right
Yes,
is
I'm-
a subjective term.
Oh
There's
man.
no objective morality here.
Didn't
For a
both
second there, I
Barnaby...
thought you killed Rob too. I was like, oh my god,
I genuinely,
no.
I was like, fucking A.
I
Yeah.
was a bit
I don't
worried.
actually know how
I think that's
survival
why
tests
I
work in
initially
this
got so emotional. Like James, I was getting emotional because like we've become so attached to him. Like he's part of the party at this point,
Mhm.
right? I think
Yeah.
we all
Yeah.
agree. Violet's getting there. She's not quite, but like
Still
James
have
for
to
sure.
human a bit more.
Yeah, and now he has his imp back, so it's like this totally different relationship that we have with him. And it's like, oh,
You're
fucking
using
messed
the
up.
present tense.
Yeah, I know.
She's in denial. She's
Yeah.
gone from
I'm
anger
in
to denial.
yeah, maybe I'm also still in denial.
Then there
He's-
comes
he's-
bargaining, then depression, and then acceptance. So we're getting through.
I don't need to accept things. I have magic.
Yeah, I have faith in Imogen and her.
Imogen
The thing
stages
is,
of
like,
I
doing
want to
what
see
feels
all the
vengeance.
Rule 34 freaking fan art of Imogen. Wow. Yeah, bring it. Send it
I
to
was
me.
totally going to let you put on a
I want the
bathrobe for
uncensored
3.
version though.
No, Imogen doesn't own a bathrobe. Again, you keep
Okay.
forgetting that she's poor.
A
and I know
strategically
that
placed towel
She
going
could
over
buy
her
all of
neck.
Layla's.
Like a strategically placed towel over your neck that just happens to cover both boobs. But no,
No, that's
she
just
could
But
buy
then
magical.
all of
she has no
Layla's.
pants on.
Magical blood swirling around her like a magical girl.
She was
Magical
gonna be half naked, is regardless of how this played out.
Okay.
She's definitely a blood mage.
Oh, she's a bloodbender. Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's a blood mage. For
Oh no,
sure.
I've definitely decided that you were like, she's sadistic now, and I was like, well, I want to do something different. Like last time it was wanting to just completely destroy Miller, but this wasn't about Miller, this was about blood. And I'm like, she wants to make a collection of samples so that she is prepared for everything. Like she wants a bandolier of blood types.
You're basically going to be
Well, at least you're
basically
straying
Dexter.
away from the fire.
Yeah.
Because for a while you were real going in the fire, but now we still have Barnaby with the fire,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
doesn't
I don't need fire
make
anymore.
Layla feel
Fire's
better.
my
want
thing.
anything.
I will
Fire-
walk through the
Layla doesn't like
fire.
fire.
Oh
Yeah,
my
no,
God.
she wants a bandolier of blood bottles. The BBB.
That would at least cover the
Meanwhile-
BB.
We've got a bit of a
Meanwhile,
collection already.
meanwhile, we have Rob over there with like all his vials of all these weird shit.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
just gonna
she's gonna
find
have-
my
You know
collection
what?
raided at some point.
Barnaby needs to like, because he has all the money, he needs to like rent us out a house so it can be like our laboratory or
That's
something.
what I was just thinking. Like, start my
Yeah.
own institute.
Like our own safe house type of thing. That'd be sick.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I don't. How
Institute of
would
Murdering
I,
Mr. Miller.
How would I improve my fortunes?
With
Invest
real
better.
difficulty.
Get Bobbert's help with your investments.
Yeah.
If we kill Mr. Miller, we can totally take his house.
It's
That's
true.
not exactly how.
Yes.
Fake that
Yes.
he's
Oh,
alive.
no, totally. Yes.
You killed my boyfriend.
The
I'm
only
taking
thing-
his house.
Yeah. The only thing stopping us from using that as like a base of operations is that he's
That's
still
probably a
alive and doesn't
terrible
know.
idea, because I guess keep your enemies close, right? That's what they say.
And
Episode
their
like
house is closer.
You kill
Episode,
Mr.
like,
Miller first, and then you can take
you
his
stole a
house.
car. Now episode like 12, you're gonna steal a house.
No, we're stealing an identity and we're using that to get the house.
Yeah, we're gonna steal Mr. Miller's identity.
You know
Oh
those
my
anti-piracy
I've got
ads
the
are
tech
like,
side of it.
you know the anti-piracy ad that's like,
Wouldn't
nah, nah,
steal
nah,
a
nah,
house.
nah, nah, you wouldn't steal a house. Nah, 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 nah. No, they really would. They really would. God. So Imogen's quickly
Today
trying
happened.
to figure out her soul restore spell. Layla and Barnaby are headed off to maybe kill, certainly killing Barnaby's Mr.
You-
Miller.
Give me
Layla
any
and
indication.
Barnaby are like, I feel like we're both enraged. Like our judgment is so clouded right now.
Layla still has some faculties about herself. Like she doesn't actually know
Bobbert
James
our
is dead.
content.
No,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just running after this.
Unfortunately, the conscious is
trail of
running late.
destruction. Everyone's leaving.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Do I
unfortunately,
have
you
any
move quicker than your
indication
conscience.
of how long this overpower is going to happen, or is this a narrative overpower? In which case, you'll decide.
It to
when
an
it
extent, it's a narrative overpower. There's also the element of you yourself wouldn't really know because all you are really able to think about right now is the moment because you are very, very high on magic.
ends. Oh, yeah, that's right. Like straight up heroin
Yeah.
and methamphetamines all at once.
We're on a
Uh,
speedball for good measure.
I can see through time and warp reality.
And then we've got the Bartak B Megaform.
Cool. I just wanted to know if there was metagaming involved, or I just gonna roll with it.
Just to a most extent, just roll with it. It's mostly a narrative-y thing. To an extent,
I like that.
it will also depend on you as a character. Like, will you be like, yeah, I've done the thing I wanted to do, or the thing that I required, and you can internally be like, I can relieve myself of the magic, and then point, it will be easier to overcome. So to an extent, right now, you're holding on to it because you know you
Sure.
want it. So
Violet will look forward to the collapsed figure of Imogen half naked in a field.
oh yeah,
Hey.
and let's.
I think Layla's looking forward to that too. Just saying.
Violet isn't quite as nice a person as James.
No, I will murder Violet if she gropes me.
I don't know if she's
You know
really
what
groped
people
you
were
mainly
saying?
because that's just a bit too much for me to GM.
Appreciate
You
it.
groped me.
People from the Monster Hearts were hoping that Luna would be Violet's roommate.
I haven't mentioned who Violet's
I
roommate
was
is.
thinking-
No
I
one
know.
has
I
asked.
was
People were
thinking-
like, people in the chat were like freaking out about. They're like, "Oh my god, imagine!" I
I
was like,
think
they would
It's
actually
still-
make
it's
perfect
still fairly-
roommates.
It's still fairly ambiguous as to whether like the Halloween special was canon, but I was sort of hoping that like
I
Mr.
kept
Miller would get
mentioning
murdered by Spencer because he's like, "Stop killing people!" and just running and
You know, instead of spiders, it was actually
beat him
vampires.
to death with the gun.
I will say that Robert's roommate, because he's constantly changing the system to be listed with like people who've disappeared. Robert's current roommate is Spencer, because Spencer's never in the room. He doesn't know where he is. He just never shows up. But the other people
That's
I
how we
have
resolved
placed him in
it.
the world.
I set it as Spencer because he never needs to go in the room.
You've never seen Spencer either, so you just assume that he's dead.
He's probably dead.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I know where everyone else is, though. Don't worry. I have plans for some of them.
I'm also wondering if at some point we're going to have to fight Spencer because he's not exactly in a friendly state right now.
Oh, he's not necessarily a ghost in the real timeline. That's just Imogen's timeline.
Sure, he's not.
Totally.
Well, that's the thing. It's ambiguous. Maybe he is the same. I don't know. But then we
I
would
do
have
not
to
want to
banish
fight
him.
Luna. Fuck that. Nope. She doesn't exist. She's not in the real world. She's just a regular person, a really nice one.
Yeah.
You promise
no,
you're gonna
you
hit
don't
me?
you dare.
I know exactly who they are. I'm sorry.
No.
So, have we got anything else to tell the class?
I don't know. Do you?
Yeah. Do you?
Yes.
I feel very mixed emotions, but I think I was right.
Prostrate yourself before the judgment of our viewers.
Bentham, you had a question?
What XP and drama point stuff do we get?
Yeah.
You will get 5 XP.
Oh, thank God.
All right.
That's nice.
I'm gonna trade that XP in for a sweet, sweet willpower.
Oh,
How much? How many drama points?
Let me just check. You will get 1 drama point. Imogen gets a drama point. And Barnaby gets another drama point. Because both of you have ended up as like darkest selves, which you have constraining certain aspects about your character, so you get drama points for the GM screen.
So I get 1 that everybody gets, and then an additional 1.
Yeah.
I now have willpower 5.
How much does it cost per attribute again?
How much does it cost per attribute? Let me check.
I might have.
You want
wrote that
times
down.
5 or you want times?
It's new
3?
times 5. So I went from 4 to 5, so I had to pay for 5, which is 25 XP.
Times 5 from the. It's times 5.
I now have enough EXP to make 2 new level 3 super science items, so I'm gonna have to think about that.
Holy
This
crap.
also means that 1, I automatically get 1 success on rolling my willpower tests for addiction. And 2, now none of my spells are above my power level. I mean, I'm in crazy magic form, so like we're probably in trouble, but
Yeah.
maybe not. Maybe if I drama point, I'll succeed on this addiction test. Which, having looked at the actual rules for magic addiction, they're kind of a bitch.
I can't.
Yeah,
upgrade
they're really
it.
hard to get into for people like you, but once you're in them, they're really hard to get out of.
They're also really hard to get out of. So, but yeah, we were talking about that. How there's a difference between if you build a willpower magician as opposed to an occult, that changes the balance of how likely you are to get addicted. And I've gone heavy into willpower because I use it for influence as well. Some real chatty.
Okay, so unless Maggie wants to do any more crying, I think we're...
Fuck. Why are you being so mean?
I want your tears.
It's the only way I can do mean things like this. I have to flip to my darkest self. This is me, as my darkest self as a GM.
It's okay.
I just want to do more crying.
I have an idea of how to get Violet to cry. So
Wait.
Ooh.
Oh, because you want her tears.
because I need your tears, and I need her
But-
tears.
You've got
Right.
two
Tears of
different...
regret, right?
I think they're just tears of someone who was bit, but they have to be like genuine tears, not like crocodile tears, right? Do they need to
The
be
spell description does say tears of regret, but it's up to you.
okay?
Ask her to
That's-
follow you and then punch her in the nose. She'll
No.
regret that.
That's for the revenge spell, whereas the soul restoring spell requires the...
Wait, I can
Um,
I
cash
have an order of
experience-
operations.
I can cash experience for drama points, right? How many?
2 experience
You're-
and 1 drama point,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think.
For you.
But I can only do that
Or is it-
once.
No, as many times as you want.
Yeah, you. It just costs you more because you're a hero, and for us, it's a 1-to-1.
So instead of 2, it's how much?
it's
it's 2.
2 for you. It's 1 for us.
2. Okay, 2 for 1.
2 for 1 drama
get
point.
2 XP for 1 drama
XP
point.
for 1 drama point.
All right.
I've got so much EXP right now. I might actually spend some on something other than making more gear.
I might
could
just
get
get a bunch of drama
2.
points.
Not a bad idea if we're going into.
Do you
a
really
boss
need them?
fight.
Well, the last boss fight, really? You just whooped his ass.
That did actually
got
go a
him
lot better than I
through
was
the rabbit.
expecting.
Partly because you had a
Rabbit
really
thing,
good plan. You got him out of his library. A lot of his powers like relate to his library. The ability to move books around, hit people with books. He can make you have less chance to hit him by surrounding himself with books flying in like a hurricane. He can blind you with ink, which he can only do once because he only had like 2 pens on him. Well, he could do it twice, but he wanted the other pen, which he used to disable the golem.
He didn't even use the books he brought with him. I was expecting him to start flinging them about all over the place.
There's a reason for that, but Imogen hasn't looked at her book yet, and neither has Violet.
I have not had time.
She's looked, but she doesn't know what the hell it says because it's in.
She hasn't opened it.
An angel
She's
language.
looked at the outside. Yeah, like a lot of his abilities did pertain to other places, so you did a really good job of bringing him out and then fighting him, and you all geared up really, really well, so you're rewarded for that. No one remotely got close to dying.
Took some hits, but yeah,
good
planning. Team. Scoobies.
And in the morning, the museum workers are going to turn up and be like, "What the hell happened?"
There's a golem just cracked in half with something scooped out of the center, like.
There's a knife missing.
If we even bother delivering that back.
Oh no, we didn't put it back.
Knife's
It's still in the
gone.
field.
Someone's nicked. Like eventually, they'll notice someone's nicked the meteorite that they didn't even display. Blooming cheats.
Rude.
They're gonna have to get some more security at this rate.
Nah.
Depends on if we need more stuff.
Probably will. Oh, and they'll notice the Dagon sphere's gone.
They didn't know
yeah,
what that
the
was.
Dagon
That's why it was
sphere.
like hidden in the bottom of a box.
I really hope we don't need
I would
that
keep that
anytime
there.
soon.
Perfect.
I love the fact that Maggie's still cracking up over there.
I don't even. Yeah.
That's the title of the episode. I don't even.
I don't even care.
I can't.
I just
don't
can't.
even.
Or the title is "Fuck You, EE."
Yeah.
That's also a pretty good title.
That's the after show title.
This is my darkest self. As soon as it wears off, I will cry. My darkest self is fueled by gin. Okay, I think that's a pretty good wrap for this after show. We're all gonna go cry and make our eulogies.
Can we just have a moment of silence for James?
Moment of silence for James. Okay, just bow your heads. Think of James as your favorite moment, and we'll go around the circle and we'll all say them in turn. So we'll start with, of course, Barnaby.
The ones where we were inappropriate about living together, those were great.
Okay. Would Robert like to say a favorite moment about James?
I don't know. There's all sorts. I'm trying to think. I'm never good at picking favorite moments. I don't know.
Pick one.
Probably him running into fights while he was like at 1 intelligence just to save everyone all the time.
It was true friendship, and he also really, really fancied Barnaby. Layla?
I think to I don't know, it's so hard. For always being there. Like he's kind of been like the rock to our group, I think. It's in a different way. Yeah.
Imogen?
Because the first time Barnaby and James held hands, because 1, it was an incredibly sweet and touching moment, and 2, his fate was sealed.
Oh, evil.
You can tell who the other GM in the group is. I myself will go with he understood the true meaning of consent.
Oh, he did. He did.
Okay. And with that, roll safe. And don't take tragic love as a drawback, because your GM will use it against you, and if they don't, they're a bad GM.